Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today to hear all about Alaska by land with Railbookers, to learn all about the exciting packages we have taking you up to Alaska. Now, just a couple quick things before we go ahead and get started. On the right-hand side of your screen, you'll see a couple handouts there, so you can click and download those. Those are going to reference back to some things I'll talk about today. And if you do have any questions throughout this presentation, please feel free to type it right into your questions box there, and I'll be sure to leave a little bit of time at the end to get to any of those questions there. I want to go ahead and introduce myself. My name's Jackie Malecki, and I'm the product manager here at Railbookers. Now, for those of you who haven't done one of our webinars in the past, just want to go through kind of a couple quick things, who we are here at Railbookers and what we can do for you before I get into the specifics on the Alaska packages that we have. But first, I want to mention Railbookers is a part of the Yankee Leisure Group family of brands. We do have a couple brands that we manage. Yankee Holidays was actually our first brand, and that was established back in 1972. So we've been around for quite a while. And we also manage the Amtrak Vacations brand. So we're actually the official tour operator for Amtrak. So we'll do rail vacations throughout the US. And of course, Railbookers is our worldwide rail vacations brand. So whether you're looking at Europe, Asia, Australia, anywhere in the world you want to go, we can take you there. But today, again, we're going to focus on the Alaska rail packages we have through our Railbookers brand. So why do people love traveling with Railbookers and love booking with us? Just a couple quick things I'll go through. The average hold time that we have is just 3 seconds. We all know how frustrating it can be when you make a call and you're just sitting there on hold waiting for someone to pick up and to talk to someone. We don't do that. This way you can give us a call. You can get right through to one of our vacation specialists and they can help you out, whether you're just inquiring about a new trip, trying to get some pricing, vacation ideas, or if you're already on your trip and you have a question, you need help with something, you can always get through to us. We offer bucket list experiences in the packages that we have and to destinations. Absolutely incredible journeys that we can offer for you, those once in a lifetime trips. There's lots of freedom and flexibility when you travel with us. We do independent travel, so while we are booking your hotels, your sightseeing tours, your rail, we make sure to give you free time to explore the destination on your own a bit too. So we don't have you stuck to a very strict schedule, like if you're doing a group bus tour or something like that, every day is completely planned out. We give you some free time as well, because who knows, you may see a beautiful cafe in Europe, you want to sit outside and enjoy a cup of coffee or cappuccino there. You have the time to do that. You can really travel at your own pace there. It's the scenic way to travel, and that's taking the train. You can sit back, relax on board, just admire the beautiful scenery as you're passing through some amazing landscapes, whether it's through quaint towns in Europe, traveling through Alaska, through the wilderness and remote areas. There's also room to roam on the train, so you're not stuck in your seat the whole time like you are in a car or on an airplane. You can get up, walk around, stretch your legs, maybe go to the observation car, which always has nice big glass windows there, or go to the cafe or dining car and grab a bite to eat there. And we can customize any of our itineraries to make the perfect vacation to fit right into your specific needs there. Keep that in mind throughout today's presentation, as in a little bit when I talk about some of our Alaska packages. Remember, if you want to spend more time in any of the destinations, add some sightseeing, adjust things, just let us know. We can take care of that for you. In any of our packages, we can book 2 days from now or 2 years from now. So this way, if you've been stuck at home, we know quarantine has kept us all inside for so long. I'm sure a lot of us are eager to get out and start traveling. So if you want to book a last minute trip and you decide, you know what, I've had enough, I want to go somewhere, we can book those last minute trips and have you, you can call us during the week and that weekend we have you going somewhere. Or if you want to wait, and you're looking ahead, 2 years out, you want to start planning your trip because you want something to look forward to. You're not ready to travel now, but you want to start planning, you want to book it now and look forward to your trip. We can also help you with that as well. Another great benefit is with our global offices, we offer 24-hour support. So anytime you want to call us, we have someone there to help you out. Again, whether it's before your trip or during your trip. So that gives you a little peace of mind if you ever need something from us. We have an office in Beverly, Massachusetts, just outside of the Boston area, where I'm actually based out of. We have one in Toronto, in Canada, Laguna Hills, California, London, United Kingdom, and Sydney, Australia. So we are all over the world here. One thing I want to point out and mention is our maximum flexibility offer. We recognize there's a lot of uncertainty in the world right now with COVID-19 and just with everything that's going on. So we want to make sure if you're booking with us that you have peace of mind for when you're going to travel, you feel comfortable doing so. So this offer basically allows you to book with us now and anytime up to September 30th, and will actually allow you to change your travel dates or cancel your trip up to 5 days prior to your departure. So this way you can go ahead, you can book with a trip with us today for travel later in July. And if you decide, the week before you just don't feel comfortable, you're not ready yet, you'd rather push it off another month or a year, no worries. Give us a call. We will rebook the same thing for you. We'll waive any change or cancellation fees, and this way you can enjoy your trip at a time that works best for you. You can actually change up the destination or what you had as well. So we're being really flexible with customers, making sure that, again, when you're traveling, it's when you're comfortable, it's to a destination that you're excited about, you want to go to, and it's the perfect vacation at the perfect time specific for you. And if you already have a booking with us, that policy does apply as well. So no need to make a decision now if you're not traveling until later this summer. You can wait until 5 days prior if you do need to change. So this way you can wait till it's a little bit closer as things are changing daily over here. So when it comes to booking train, we take the mystery out of rail travel. We know how complicated it can be with all the different routes, the different accommodations, but that's why we have a team of rail specialists here to make it nice and easy for you. You can see on this map here, this is just Europe, and all those different colors are all the different train systems throughout Europe. They all have different ones. Of course, none of them talk to each other, so you have to book in all different systems there. That's what we're here for. We'll make it easy for you. One call, one-stop shop. We can book all those train routes for you. We have direct partnerships with all those rail operators too, which actually allows us to book the train further out than it's even available to the public. That's how we're able to book 2 years out because of those partnerships that we have. And I just want to go through a couple FAQs real quick in regards to some general things that came in when you all had registered for the webinar. I appreciate you all putting in kind of some of the top things that you wanted to learn. And there's a couple that I just want to address so you can think about as I'm going through the rest of this presentation. I talk about Alaska in just a minute. But one that came up was, do I need to pay in full at the time of booking? No, you do not. So only a deposit is required, and the final payment for your trip isn't due until 90 days before your departure. So if you are doing a last minute booking, you're traveling within 90 days, then yes, you would pay in full at the time of booking. But if you're planning, again, further out than 90 days, you can just do a small deposit now to lock everything in, and then 90 days before your departure is when your final payment will be due. Another question that came in was, why take the train versus doing a cruise to Alaska in that area? What are some of the differences there? So when you're taking the train, you can independently explore on your own schedule. You're not limited to the restrictions of a cruise agenda as far as what ports it's going to, how long it's going to be in port. Got to make sure you're back on the cruise ship for a specific time. This way, when you're doing it by land, you can stay in some great hotels right in Alaska. You can go to the local restaurants, enjoy all your meals there, and you can really design your trip with everything that you want specifically, what works for your travel needs, and nothing that you don't want. And that actually kind of leads right to the next point. is about customizing a vacation. And some of you are asking, well, does it cost more to customize a vacation? Absolutely not. So whether we do a pre-packaged vacation, we customize a vacation for you, the cost of the components, it's the same. We don't charge any more to customize a vacation. Doing one from scratch, it may take a little bit longer for our team to go through, put it together, but we are happy to do that. We will work with you on that to make the perfect trip to fit right into your needs. We usually find there's most often a package that works out perfectly, but you may see, one or two components. Maybe you want to spend a little bit more time in Alaska, in Denali. You want 3 or 4 nights. No worries. We can add that on for you. We don't do a surcharge or anything when we customize packages. And the last one I'll talk about is where overnights are spent. Are we sleeping on the train? Are we sleeping in hotels? Most of the time, they are spent in hotels. Specifically for Alaska and all the packages I'm going to talk about today, the overnights are all in hotel accommodations. Depending on where you're traveling, if you're traveling through Europe, the US, some of the destinations are a little bit further away from each other, so you may be sleeping on the train in those cases. If you are spending an overnight on the train, there's the sleeping accommodations, the private cabins with the beds in there, everything. So if it is the case that it's an overnight on our train, our team will go over that with you in detail, and they can also explain what it's like to be sleeping on the train and kind of the difference between the overnight accommodations there. So just a couple quick things we wanted to go through that I know a lot of you were asking. So wanted to address that there and just let what does Railbookers offer? What do we do for the packages? What do we do for you? It's that one-stop shop booking experience. So we include everything from your rail accommodations, the hotel, your sightseeing tours. We can do transfers for you if needed from the airport to the hotels or the train stations there. We take care of all of that. So we make it nice and easy. Just one call, we'll book your entire vacation for you. So with that, I want to jump into today's hot topic because I know that's why you all are on here right now, to learn all about Alaska and what we have to offer. So when is the best time to travel through Alaska by land? The peak season is definitely June through September. That's when Denali National Park is fully open, all the sightseeing tours in the various towns are all available, the boat cruises are going out through the fjords. It's definitely the most spectacular time. The weather is also the nicest during that June to September time frame. So what are some of the reasons to travel through Alaska by land? Alaska is about 1/5 the size of the contiguous lower 48 states. So there is so much to see and do in Alaska. And the journey to your destination and the different places in Alaska that you're going to should be as spectacular as the destinations themselves. So this way, when you are traveling by land, you're going to see some views and parts of Alaska that are inaccessible by cruise and you would never see by flying and kind of bypassing it there. So you'll literally wind through some of the countryside and some of the wilderness there of Alaska. And when you travel by land, you can stay right in the private cabins that we have. You do the overnights in hotels and the lodges. You can stay within Denali National Park, Seward, Talkeetna, as opposed to visiting some of those just on a day trip and being a little more rushed there. And when you travel to Alaska by land, you can create your own schedule. So again, we're not doing the group tours, it's independent trips specific for you, so you can set your own schedule there. So specifically, why take the train through Alaska? For one, you still can in 2020. I know a lot of the cruise lines have been canceled for Alaska just with everything happening right now. But the Alaska Railroad and the train will resume service on July 1st. So we do have people that are still booking for later on in August, early September, as they still want to visit Alaska this year. When you take the train, you literally wind along the mountainsides. You'll travel through the Kenai Peninsula. You'll see some massive glaciers, towering waterfalls. All those things can be seen along the way on these routes by the train. So when traveling through Alaska, we do it, of course, a scenic way with Alaska Railroad. And there's several different segments on the Alaska Railroad. The entire journey is jaw-dropping views and nature, and the packages that we have include the two most popular routes, which are the Coastal Classic, that runs from Anchorage south down to Seward, and the Denali Star, which runs from Anchorage through Talkeetna, Denali, and ends up in Fairbanks. When traveling on Alaska Railroad, there's two different classes of service. The first one is adventure class. It's a standard class they have there. As you can see in the pictures here, you do have a nice comfortable seat there. It is confirmed seating. They do have the large picture windows there to take in all the amazing views. You do have access to dining on board, whether it's the Wilderness Cafe or there's the sit-down full-service restaurant as well. You can purchase your meals in those restaurants for the food there. You do have the freedom to explore between the different adventure class cars. Again, you're not stuck in your seat the whole time. So you can get up, you can walk through the train a bit. You can go to the dome car, which you can see the picture on the left there. That's open to everyone in adventure class, open seating there. People are constantly rotating through, so I've been asked a few times, does it get really crowded? How easy is it to find a seat? They try to limit and make sure, people aren't camping out there for the entire journey, but you find there's a natural flow as people are getting on and off the train at different points in time. People are eating at different times. So it's a great place to definitely spend a little bit of time though up there and take in the amazing views of Alaska. Now, for those who want the finer things in life, there's an upgrade option to Gold Star service. This is the premium class. So where your seats are, they're in the dome car. You can see those nice big glass dome ceilings there. So you do have an assigned seat right in that car there. That is on the upper level. And there's actually an outdoor viewing platform. So you can actually step outside of the train and kind of get that fresh air as you're traveling through Alaska. On the lower level of that train car is where there's a dining car, and they offer full service dining. The meals are included for those traveling in Gold Star. So depending what time you're on the train, you could have breakfast, lunch, and or dinner included for you. They do give you two complimentary beverages as well from the bar. So you're on vacation, sit back, relax, have a glass of wine, have champagne, cheers to a great vacation that you're having. What an amazing way to start it there. In both classes of service, there is an Alaskan tour guide that will provide narration. So they'll point out some of the different highlights and areas you're passing through. If there's any wildlife, they will certainly point that out too. So you do learn about Alaska, the history of the lands and the culture there too. And one thing I'm sure a lot of you are wondering is how Alaska Railroad is maintaining a safe environment right now with everything that's going on. So again, their service will resume July 1st, and they have some changes. So they will be requiring facial coverings in stations and on the trains for all passengers and staff. Of course, if you're in the dining car, you're having your snack, you can remove the face mask in order to eat and things, but they do ask if you're just in your seat or if you're moving about the train, you will be required to wear the face mask there just for the safety of your fellow passengers and for Alaska Railroad staff as well. They'll be changing around the seating configuration, kind of how it's booked, and the allocation on board to allow for social distancing. So you will be able to sit next to your travel companions, anyone that is in your group, whether it's family, friends, anything like that, you all can be together. But they'll make sure you're not seated next to someone who's not in your traveling party, and there won't be anyone in front of you, behind you, anything like that. So they will be working to distance people on the train. One of the ways they will be able to do that is by limiting capacity. So most trains will be at 50% or less. And they will be doing increased cleaning and sanitation both at the stations and on the trains as well throughout the train journey. They'll be wiping down all the surfaces, especially throughout the dining cars. As people get up from tables, they'll completely wipe them down before they seat anyone else. So they'll be doing that to make sure everything is clean and sanitized for people that are on board the train. Now, with that, I want to get into the exciting part of today's presentation, and that's talking about some of the specific packages that we have and the different itineraries and options you have for your next Alaska vacation. The first step I want to talk about in our most popular package to Alaska is the Alaska Adventure with Alaska Railroad. Alaska is famous for its glaciers, fjords, mountains, and lakes. And on this 9-day journey, you'll be able to experience it all. So you'll start off in Anchorage, so you can fly right into Anchorage there. You'll have 2 nights to explore Anchorage, and then you'll hop on the Coastal Classic route for a trip down to Seward, where you'll be able to cruise through the Kenai Fjords National Park. You'll see the wildlife, mountains, the Tidewater glaciers from there. Then you'll head back to Anchorage for a night, then continue the journey north to the town of Talkeetna for a night, then off to the crown jewel of Alaska, which is Denali National Park. 2 nights exploring there, then you'll head back to Anchorage for a night before flying back home. So now I'll go ahead, I'll kind of break it down by the different destinations you'll be visiting and talk about some of the things you'll be able to see and do while you're there. So again, first up is Anchorage. You will have plenty of time to explore Anchorage, which is Alaska's largest city. The Port of Anchorage is known for being a major cultural hub, and it's the primary gateway to the wilderness areas and the mountains throughout Alaska and all the adventures that are to be had in Alaska. The city is home to a number of different key attractions, including the Alaska Native Heritage Center, the Anchorage Museum of History and Art, and the Alaska Wildlife Conservation Center. When you're in Anchorage, we do include a guided sightseeing trolley tour for you that will take you all around Anchorage to all the different major hotspots so you can really get familiar with the city. Then after Anchorage, you'll take the Coastal Classic train down to Seward. This train route was voted one of National Geographic Traveler's top train rides in America. So you will enjoy spectacular views on here from the dramatic coastline of Turnagain Arm. You'll pass by several different backcountry glaciers as you make your way to the port town. When you're in Seward, we have you staying at the beautiful Windsong Lodge. It's in a spectacular wilderness setting, so it's situated right along the Resurrection River. It's close to the entrance to the Kenai Fjords National Park and just a few minutes from Exit Glacier. There is a complimentary shuttle that will pick you up from the Alaska Railroad Depot and bring you right to the lodge here. It does run frequently, so you can actually take that shuttle back to the town of Seward, so you will have free time to check out some of the shops, walk along the coastline there. Absolutely spectacular. You'll have lots of free time to do that, and then you'll spend the night in Seward. The next morning, we'll take you on that shuttle to the port, and we'll bring you right to your boat cruise. And there you'll be able to cruise around the remote islands. You'll see the wildlife, most commonly is sea lions, seals, you may even see some whales there, and you'll definitely see some of the Tidewater glaciers as you cruise through the Kenai Fjords National Park. We do include lunch for you as well, so you actually have exclusive access to Fox Island where your lunch will be served. This is Alaska's #1 wildlife and glacier cruise. Absolutely incredible to be able to experience and to get out on the water. After exploring Seward, you'll head back to Anchorage that evening. You'll spend the night, and the next day you're going to hop on board the train, this time the Denali Star route, as you make your way to Talkeetna. Talkeetna should be on every Alaskan itinerary. It's a charming small town, and it's known as the gateway to Denali. It's also known for its mining history and for the great outdoors and activities it has around there. Talkeetna is home to the convergence of three major glacial rivers, which makes it great for the different excursions that you can do from there. There's several different trails that go out so you can explore on your own. Just outside of town, you can actually walk to the waterfront. So you can walk to the Sistina River, take a nice leisurely walk along the banks there. And on clear days, you can actually enjoy views of the Alaskan range and of Denali as the backdrop there. So then after exploring Talkeetna, you're going to hop back on the train and make your way to Denali. Denali National Park encompasses 6 million acres of Alaska's rugged interior and its wilderness. Of course, the centerpiece being the 20,310 feet Denali, or Mount McKinley as it's formerly known as, which is the tallest peak in North America. When you go to Denali, we take you on a full day sightseeing tour. So you actually go deep into the heart of Denali National Park. You'll travel 92 miles into it, but you do make a handful of stops along the way for different photo opportunities and wildlife stops. One of my favorite ones is the Polychrome Overlook, and it gets its name from the colorful volcanic rocks that you can see from the overlook there. From up there, you can also see the streams running through, the mountains at a distance, and the glaciers. Those are all things that make this spot really unique. And the high overlook, it's also a great spot to look out for wildlife. So bears, moose, and caribou have all been spotted at times from there. You'll also make a stop at the visitor center, which is only 33 miles from the summit of Denali, and there you'll get some of the best views. So after exploring Denali, you'll later take the train back to Anchorage for your final night stay. Another great one we have is the Denali National Park with Alaska Railroad southbound. On this one here, you can discover the entire route of the Denali Star. So it's 356 miles from Fairbanks all the way down to Anchorage. Spectacular scenery all along the way. This package here, we can do it in either direction. So we have it going southbound starting in Fairbanks, but you can also do it northbound if you prefer to fly into Anchorage and then out of Fairbanks. So we have this one here. Again, it starts off with 2 nights right there in Fairbanks, which is known as the Golden Heart City for its historic discovery of gold and its early pioneering spirit. Fairbanks has also been referred to as the gateway to the far north, referring to the Arctic Circle. After exploring Fairbanks, you'll make your way down to Denali National Park. In Denali, we stay at the Denali Cabins, which are situated in a quiet, wooded setting away from some of the larger resort properties. So here you can get that true Alaskan wilderness feel, but while still having all the amenities and comfort of those larger resort properties. So there's full service dining that's available. It's open for all meals there. One thing that's really cool though is they actually do boxed lunches. So you can do that if you would like. Instead of going to the restaurant for lunch, you can do a boxed lunch and maybe go have a picnic outside or take it on a hike around one of the trails in the area there. When you're in Denali, this one here, it's definitely an ideal base camp. You'll be picked up right from the cabins, right from the property. You'll be brought deep into the heart of the park where you'll have your included sightseeing tour for you. And then after you're done exploring Denali National Park and staying there, you'll continue your way down to Talkeetna. In Talkeetna, we have you staying at the Talkeetna Alaskan Lodge. From there, from the lodge, you can actually see stunning views of Mount Denali. And the lodge itself is just a few minutes away from the downtown area. And it's close to a lot of the surrounding adventures, a lot of the hiking trails. There's actually a few that leave right from the property there. You're close to the rivers, which offer some different jet boat adventures. There's a complimentary shuttle here as well that will take you from the depot to your hotel, and it'll also take you back to town. So definitely be sure to take advantage of that. You can take that complimentary shuttle to downtown Talkeetna, where you'll find some quaint shops. There's some local breweries and restaurants that are there. And then after exploring Talkeetna, you'll head to Anchorage. You'll have 2 days exploring there before catching your flight back home. Now, for those that maybe have a little less time for their vacation, this one here still offers all the top attractions and highlights. So it's our highlights of Alaska with Alaska Railroad. You still get the full Denali experience as you have your 2 nights there, your full day sightseeing tour. And you can also go down to Seward, but this time instead of spending the night, we do it as a day trip down to Seward. So from Anchorage, you will take the Coastal Classic route to the port of Seward, which is located right on the edge of Resurrection Bay. It's definitely a nature and recreation lover's dream. It has jaw-dropping scenery there, one of the most picturesque downtown areas, especially as you're looking out on the harbor. You see all the boats, but then you have the snow-capped mountains surrounding it. When you get to Seward, you do have some free time to check out some of the shops, the local restaurants that are there. You'll also be taken out on a boat cruise through Resurrection Bay. So this way you can see some of the wildlife. You'll cruise through the remote islands. You do have lunch included on your tour here as well. And then later in the evening, you'll take the train heading back to Anchorage. On that train, if you're in adventure class, you can certainly purchase your dinner in the cafe car, or you can go to the full service dining restaurant that they have on board there, purchase your meals there. But remember, if you do upgrade to Gold Star, you do have your meals included. So on the way down to Seward, you'll have breakfast included, and then on the way back, you will have dinner included, and that's for those traveling in Gold Star. And of course, in this one, after exploring Seward, you head back to Anchorage and then up to Denali for the amazing experience and the tours deep into the park. And the last one I want to talk about today is the Denali Express with Alaska Railroad. One of the top reasons people go to Alaska on vacation is to visit Denali National Park. So that's the focus of this itinerary right here. So you can book round trip flights right into Anchorage, and you have time to explore there before heading up to Denali. In all of the packages that we have, we do include the Anchorage Trolley Tour. This is a 1-hour guided tour. It does a 15-mile loop all around the Anchorage area. It does multiple stops and lots of different scenic points along the way. Some of the highlights are Earthquake Park. So in the 60s, there was actually a 9.2 earthquake on the Richter scale, and the whole neighborhood that was there actually slid into the ocean. So this park is there to commemorate that. You'll also visit Westchester Lagoon, which is known for its wildlife sightings. You'll be able to see the float planes departing from Lake Hood, and you'll visit some of the historic neighborhoods of Anchorage. I always recommend that people do this tour in the morning. On the first full day that you have there, do this, and this way you can get a full overview of Anchorage, get familiar with the city, kind of everything that Anchorage has to offer, and then you can spend the rest of the day going back to some of those spots. So maybe you want to go visit Westchester Lagoon again, just kind of sit back, relax, and keep an eye out for some of that wildlife. You can do that because you'll learn all about some of those key areas. And then after exploring Anchorage, you'll take the train and make your way up to Denali. The Denali tour that we offer in all of our Alaska packages, again, it's a full day tour and it goes the furthest into the park. So you'll travel deep into Denali National Park. You'll actually go all the way to Talkeetna, which had a short but exciting gold rush there. And while you're there, that's where your lunch will be included at the lodge. And you have some free time as well. So you can choose your adventure. They do a gold panning, a little adventure tour there. There's a history tour, or you can do a naturalist hike. And of course, in these tours, it's making multiple other stops along the way, again, both into the park and on the way out for wildlife, lots of different mountain photo opportunities, and other amazing landscapes like the polychrome overlook that I mentioned earlier. These are all things that are only found in Denali National Park and are unique to that area and to Alaska. And then after exploring Denali, you'll hop on board the train, making your way back to Anchorage. Now, again, that's just kind of a quick highlight on some of the packages that we have going out to Alaska and some of the different destinations that we have and the options that you have for your next trip. So one question I want to ask all of you now after hearing about the different destinations is, which one are you most interested in visiting? So if you want to type it right into your questions box there, would love to hear which destinations you were all thinking about, whether it's one or multiple destinations, kind of which one intrigues you the most. So I'll give you all a minute to type that right into your questions box there. So it looks like Denali National Park is certainly the most popular one. We have Caitlin looking at Denali, Louise looking at it. Let's see, we have Kelly that's interested in Kenai Fjords and Denali. So yeah, lots of great ones. So thank you so much everyone for sharing that. I know there's a lot more typing in. I won't go through everyone's, but definitely most popular ones, biggest highlights are certainly Denali and Kenai Fjords. Not surprised, those are two absolutely amazing highlights of Alaska there. So one thing I just want to talk about real quick is just a few customer testimonials. I've talked about our different packages, kind of how we work, but wanted to let some others tell you what we can do and kind of what their experiences with us was like. So we have from Jennifer, she said, using Railbookers made it simple to experience so many different areas and beautiful landmarks all in one trip. So she had a journey all throughout Europe that she went to. We have from Den, it took one call to book the perfect itinerary. Railbookers is always our first choice for rail trips. And then from Elizabeth, she'd said our trip was a success before we even left home. We gave her a lot of help kind of with the booking process and putting her customized itinerary together for her. So just want to go through kind of again, why people love Railbookers. Again, the average hold time is just 3 seconds with us. So anything at all that you need, give us a call. You can get right through to our team. If you have, additional questions, if you're interested in any of these packages, you want pricing for specific dates, give us a call and let our team help you put something together because we can offer these bucket list experience. Alaska is certainly that once in a lifetime destination that people want to go to and visit. So let us help you plan that and make an amazing journey for you. There's lots of freedom and flexibility with the packages that we have. Make sure you do have time to do some hiking or just exploring kind of the downtown areas there. Taking the train is definitely the most scenic way to travel throughout Alaska and the most relaxing too. And there's room to roam on board. So again, you can get up, walk around the train, really enjoy the journey to your different destinations. And all of our itineraries are customizable, even the ones that I talked about today. So again, in any of the places, if you are interested in Denali, but maybe you want some more time there, if you are an avid hiker, you want to go back into the park and explore some of the trails, just let us know. We can do 3-4 nights for you. We are happy to adjust it. And I won't go through all these, but just a couple awards and recognitions. We're really proud and honored to have been recognized in multiple different travel, publications, magazines, and have a few different awards. I just want to remind you about the maximum flexibility offer. So this is that peace of mind offering that we have for you. So essentially you can book with us now for travel anytime. Doesn't have to be this summer, it's travel anytime. And you can change your dates or cancel your trip up to 5 days prior to your departure there. So if right now you're thinking of traveling at the end of the summer, but you're not sure, you're a little hesitant, you don't want to be locked in, no worries. You can book with us now, just put the small deposit, we'll hold that. And then if you do need to change your dates later, you can certainly do so. And that does apply for existing reservations as well. So today really just focused on Alaska, and I went through a couple of the packages that we have, but we do have even more available, so you can check it all out on the website at railbookers.com. You'll be able to see even more Alaska packages and the other destinations we have throughout Canada, the US, through Europe or Australia, everything we can do for you. And also on the website, that's where you can order our brochures. We have one for Railbookers, our worldwide rail vacations. We also manage via Rail Vacations by Railbookers. If you're looking to do a Canada trip or if you're looking to travel through Europe, we have some more specific brochures based on where you would like to travel to. So you can order those. You can also download the e-brochures right from the website. And I do want to mention just the next upcoming webinars that we have. Next week will be 5 reasons to start planning your next vacation to Scandinavia. And then on June 24th, with our Amtrak Vacations brand, we'll be talking about 5 close to home getaways to visit this fall. So if you didn't get a chance already to download the handout, you can click right on that, right on the right-hand side of your screen. And I do see there's a couple of questions that came in during this presentation. So if anyone else does have any questions, please feel free to type that into your questions box right there, as it does look like we have a little bit of time to get to those questions. All right, so let's see. First up, we have George. What are the sleeping accommodations on the train? So for this one here, for Alaska Railroad, George, there are no sleeping accommodations on the train, and that's because all of the train travel is done during the day, during daylight hours. So you won't be sleeping on the Alaska Railroad train. All the overnights will be in the different lodges and the hotel accommodations here. We have one from Gerald. Can a person book from Los Angeles to one of the Alaska trips? So yeah, you certainly can. If you're looking to go from Los Angeles, the best thing to do would probably be to fly into Anchorage or to Fairbanks, depending on which package you're interested in. But those two are the biggest gateways there. Either Anchorage, some prefer to do round trip flights, so they'll do it in and out of Anchorage. Others want to do the entire Denali Star route, so they'll do fly into Anchorage and then out of Fairbanks, so then you could fly back home from there. So it looks like we have a question from Janice, and it looks like we do have a few of our travel agent partners on here. So if you do have specific questions in regards to your travel agency, things like that, please feel free to give us a call, reach out, and we can go into some of the specifics with you on that one there. We have a question from Matt. How much is the deposit and when was the final payment due? So a great question. The deposit is just $250 per person, and final payment is due 90 days prior to the departure. So if you're looking to book early, again, you can just put that small deposit, just $250 per person. This will lock in the space on the train, your hotel, lodging accommodations, and all of that for you. And then the final payment isn't due till 90 days before you travel. So looks like that's all we have for questions right now. So if anyone does have any additional questions, please feel free to give us a call. We can certainly help you out with anything at all that you need. When you're ready, we're ready for you. Like so many others, we did suddenly have to go home based, but we all have our home offices set up. So we are all standing by and happy to help you plan your next rail vacation. So thank you so much again, everyone, for taking the time joining me. I hope you all enjoyed today's presentation and learned a lot about what it's like to travel by land in Alaska. Take care.